So I've been acting for about 6 years now, and due to that I have accumulated many stories within our theatre group that I thought people might be interested in listening to. So the first one was in a musical called Peter Pan, and our version was based in World War II, with the children imagining these characters like Captain Hook and all that. And Peter Pan, I can't remember if he was the real or fictional. I can't remember. It was a while ago. So, another thing in context, the stage was in the round, which basically means that the audience envelops the stage. So you could think of it like a square with the corners cut off, and the edges are where the audience members would be. The center of the square is where the center of the stage would be, and then the cut off corners is where actors would enter and exit onto the stage. Now, in one of the parts during the opening, we had to go across to sing something like the nightingales are silent, and of course a lot more harmony and melody and all that stuff. And each row, because there was 3 rows, had during that section had a torch, so the lights would go dim, and for each section they would put the torch underneath their face and turn it on. Now, this is Australia, which means it does get unpleasantly hot in the summer, which it was when we were doing Peter Pan. So, one of the actors was doing that motion. However, his hands were particularly sweaty. So when he took it out, he accidentally, it accidentally slipped out of his hands and fell onto another audience member, who was a young girl, apparently. So she started playing with it, and the mother took it from her, and I assume she gave it to a director or a backstage member picked it up. I can't remember the rest of the story. So the next day we were setting up for another performance, like we do because we have multiple sections, and the actor that had this happened to him was telling us about it. This is when I received the story with a few others, and I was talking about it. We all had to laugh because it was kind of funny, but no one was hurt, so or affected, so that's pretty okay. Now another actor came in later on to see what was up, and so she listened to the story, and we found out that this young girl was actually this actor's niece. And not just any niece, it was a niece that was blind from birth. So, as you can imagine, we found that somewhat amusing that one of our active friends decided to basically throw a torch at a blind audience member. Another story we had was we were doing the musical Shrek Jr. Yes, that is an actual musical. You can look it up. Yes, we were surprised too when we heard of it. And I was playing the character Pinocchio, which, was a rather fun role, but it really did hurt my voice afterwards. But now I can do it consistently. So we were doing a mic check before the audience arrived, like we normally do, make sure stuff doing it. And I think either I was already clear to go, so I was back in the green room where the actors all hang out when they're not on stage, and I was, in the toilet doing my business. And once I finished, I was just talking to another one of my fellow actors about general stuff. I can't remember what it was at all. Probably anything particularly important. Probably life or other acting things. So we were talking for a while, and then another actor came in, kind of in a rush, and into the toilet door and said, "Hey, your mic's live." So everyone in the stage area, which luckily was just the actors and the tech guys and the directors, were hearing exactly everything I and probably what my other active friends were saying in the toilet. And I think my response to that was, "Oh," and we shut up after that.